Grey-Zone Civility, navigating social masks between politeness and passive aggression. Explore Grey-Zone Civility, the subtle social game where politeness blends with passive aggression, revealing hidden tensions in daily interactions. Grey-Zone Civility, the thin line between politeness and passive aggression. Imagine you're at a family dinner or maybe on the tube and someone says something perfectly polite, but somehow it stings underneath. It's not outright rude, but that little edge in their tone or choice of words makes you raise an eyebrow. That, my friend, is what we call Grey-Zone Civility. It's this fascinating and sometimes exhausting phenomenon where everyday social interactions are veiled with polite language, yet hide passive-aggressive undercurrents and subtle tensions. So, what exactly is Grey-Zone Civility? At its core, it's about how certain behaviours, while socially acceptable, hover in this murky area between genuine politeness and low-key hostility. It's civility worn like a mask, often used to navigate high-stakes social situations, where being too blunt might lead to conflict, but being overly polite can feel insincere or frustrating. The social dance of sort-of politeness. We all engage in this behaviour, even if we don't always recognise it. Think about those times when someone makes a backhanded compliment like, "Oh, you're actually quite good at that," for a beginner. It seems nice on the surface, but it's delivering a little jab, cleverly disguised as kindness. Or when a colleague emails you with, "Just a friendly reminder," which may sound helpful, but actually feels like a subtle nudge to get your act together because you're behind on deadlines. This grey zone is where a lot of social tension brews. It's the unspoken language of civility used to express irritation, enforce social norms, or maneuver through awkward power dynamics, all without the risk of being called out for rudeness or aggression. Why does grey-zone civility exist? Conflict avoidance. Many people prefer to maintain harmony rather than face direct confrontation. Grey-zone civility allows them to communicate dissatisfaction or criticism with a softer edge. Social hierarchies. In workplaces or family groups, it's a way to exert power indirectly, especially when someone lacks the authority or confidence for open disagreement. Emotional protection. It acts as a shield, cushioning both the sender and receiver from the impact of harsher truths. It's like an invisible game happening beneath our eyeballs, where the stakes may seem low, but the consequences are felt quite strongly, much like the secret maneuvers in covert ops scenarios in special forces. You can think of it as a kind of social secret war fought in everyday conversation. Examples of grey-zone civility we've all seen. The polite sarcasm. "Oh, I'm sure you were really busy," said when someone has obviously ignored a request. The simmering smile. Smiling while making a comment that is clearly critical, like telling a friend, "That dress is bold." Feigning interest. Nod and smile through a story that's clearly overlong or boring, without wanting to hurt feelings. Backhanded praise. Compliments with a twist, like, "You're pretty organised for someone so scatterbrained." Passive-aggressive questions. "Oh, you came to the meeting after it started. That's unusual for you." Each one of these behaviours is socially acceptable, even expected in some circles. But beneath the surface, they can sow discord, breed resentment, and set the stage for covert social battles that you only notice in retrospect. How grey-zone civility affects us. On the one hand, grey-zone civility smooths over what could be explosive moments by wrapping criticism or disagreement in palatable sugar. On the other, it sometimes leads to communication breakdowns because the real issue never gets addressed directly. It's frustrating for everyone involved. Sometimes it can be downright exhausting to navigate conversations where you're constantly trying to decode what's really being said, particularly when you're dealing with situations that carry an element of high stakes. Think about a workplace where special ops teams might handle dangerous missions covertly, but in the office, the days-long mission is to interpret your boss's vague emails that hover on the brink of unfriendly. So what can we do about it? Be aware. Recognize when you or others are slipping into grey-zone civility. Awareness is the first step to clearer communication. Ask for clarity. If something feels off, don't be afraid to ask politely what someone really means. Practice directness. When appropriate, be straightforward but kind. This can gradually reduce the need for passive aggression. Create safe spaces. Encourage environments where people can speak honestly without fear of judgment or backlash. Final thoughts. Grey-zone civility is one of those quirks of human interaction that's both clever and a little cruel. It's a reminder that beneath the surface of everyday politeness, there can be a secret war of emotions, intentions, and frustrations. But understanding it helps us navigate those hidden social undercurrents and maybe even build better connections. If you're fascinated by the idea of covert operations and the subtle tactics people use in every aspect of life, including those that quietly play out in social settings with stealth and strategy reminiscent of special forces, you might also enjoy The Action-Packed World of Covert Ops by Steve Barker. These books offer a thrilling perspective on another type of clandestine conflict, one where every move counts and the stakes couldn't be higher. Join the mission. Embark on an electrifying journey through the clandestine world of spies, special forces, and secret missions that go beyond the grey zones of civility into clear-cut high stakes and high drama. Check out Covert Ops for your next gripping read.